I'm listening to 49er Rush, Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? I am trying to get out as much content as possible this week in the entire playoff run. That's right, it's not just this week. The 49ers, they have such a... The way that they got here, okay? How they played down the stretch, things that translate to the playoffs. Let me pose it this way. I'm already off notes. It's like the second sentence of this podcast. Who cares? We got a lot of stuff to cover today. And it's going to be a defensive-minded podcast. But good defense and strong running games make playoff runs. That's all there is to it. And guess what? The 49ers have both of those things in spades. In spades. The 49ers offense has the 5th most rushing attempts in the NFL. We run the ball very, very well. The 49ers defense allows the 3rd fewest yards. It's a recipe for success as you go down the stretch. Now, does that mean you look past the Cowboys? Oh, God, no. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. Cowboys won 12 games. Like, you don't look past that. I hate the Cowboys. But I think it's important to understand, like, we are built for this. The Cowboys don't want to play us. I'm telling you that right now. It's not what they want. Because they would have much rather played the Eagles, who they destroyed twice, or go on and on. Arizona, it didn't matter. Like, this is not a good matchup for them. Because, again, they're susceptible to the run. And I don't want this to turn into a full Cowboys podcast. That's the next one coming. I've already got, I think, 5 pages of notes into this game. Maybe that's why I'm so excited. I want to still look back a little bit. Because yesterday's podcast, if you missed that one, go check it out, was predominantly offensive driven. You know, talking about what worked, what didn't work. We got into the film, the grades, and all those things, and the press conferences from the offensive players. Today, I want to give all due respect to the defense because, make no mistake, the defense is far superior than the 49ers offense. Now, I know Debo and Kittle and Elijah Mitchell, those guys are going to get all of the credit because it's offense. It's the NFL. People like offense. The defense is where it's at. And that's why the 49ers are in the position that they're in right now, much more so than the offense. They are better in almost every single statistical category. Again, if you just look, 49ers defense, 9th fewest points allowed. 49ers offense, 13th most points, right? 49ers defense, 3rd fewest yards. 49ers offense, 7th most yards. So it's not like they're either one are bad, but you can go down the line. And it's like that almost across the board. This is a defensive-driven team. You look at where the draft capital is spent, defensive line. You look where the money is spent, defense and linebackers and safeties. Spending money everywhere besides corner. but that's okay. And even corner in this game against the Rams came out to be very, very good. The 2 turnovers, the Emmanuel Mosley and the Ambry Thomas one. And, you know, let's start at the end and work our way up. And let's start with this Ambry Thomas interception, the walk-off interception, because I think this is huge. We're going to hear 2 awesome clips from Ambry Thomas that I think are just, I love this kid. I love this kid. This is him talking about the interception at the end of the game.
We were in cover 3, and I just played my responsibility. I knew I had to stay on top of Odell. He was the only threat I had to my side. So 3 deep, just had to do my job and see the ball, go get the ball.
Make it simple, man. Cover 3, and again, we just finished our hour and 15-minute breakdown on the defensive performance. Loaded that on Patreon, patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast, if you want to check out every single snap. And, man, on that play, we'll get the clip to you eventually. We don't have it right now. But he was on top of that route by a good 5-6 yards whenever Matt Stafford let it go, and he read the ball perfectly, broke on it, and made the play. I think that's what's so key. MK Green, what's up, man? He says, John, I'm so hyped for this game. His dad raised him a Niners fan and always told him about how much he hated this rivalry. Oh my gosh, I love it. Cannot wait. Thanks for making it better. Dude, you're telling me I'm as jacked as ever. I've been saying for a month, I want to play the Cowboys. I want to play the Cowboys. I want to play the Cowboys. Not so much just because I think it's a good matchup. Dude, that's my enemy. That's who I want to go up against. Like, this is what I was raised on. Born and raised in Dallas. I've been on the phone all week telling people, hey, man, I'm coming to Dallas for like less than 24 hours. Throw it a party. Come out, hang out with us, even though it's going to be all Niners fans. But that's what it is. And if you haven't yet, come on now, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We're going to be in Dallas. We're throwing a party Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. at Bombshells in Arlington, right next to the stadium. It's going to be incredible. Wayne Breezy's going to be helping me with that. I think Croc's coming out again. But, man, we've got so many autographed jerseys we're giving away. We've got trivia set up. We got a lot of stuff, some awesome t-shirts we're going to be giving out as well. This is going to be insanity how much we take over. So, again, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. If you haven't already, go get those tickets, man. Support the podcast. It's not cheap flying across the country on short notice and buying those tickets. I understand that. But, man, support that team. That's what it's about. We took over that stadium in SoFi. Man, and it was awesome. And you could hear every player, coach, everybody talk about it. We played a lot of those clips yesterday. Let's go get them, man. Let's go get them. I love it. I love it. Sergio, so proud of the faithful representing this weekend. I love this team. I love this fan base. We're the faithful. That's what it is. That's who we are. Now, Ambry Thomas finally made the pick. And if you go back a month ago, everybody was calling for his head. He's a bust, blah, 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 blah. Nope, he got us in the playoffs. Listen to him go back and kind of tell his story. This is a little bit of a longer clip, and it's basically Ambry has arrived. Listen to him tell his story.
I knew for sure I just had to get back in football mode. Like, a lot of people didn't know I was out football for a year. And once I mentally got back in football mode, I knew it was going to be over because I know what type of person I am.
What do you mean over?
Like, I knew it was going to be time to go. I knew I've arrived type of moment.
Practice or during the season when you felt that it did click for you getting back into football mode?
I forgot which week it was, but I had 2 picks back-to-back periods in practice, and John Lynch kind of looked at me and nodded and like, yeah, keep on going. So I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here. And that's what it's about, building that confidence. And we told you, the film doesn't lie. When you're in position consistently, eventually it's going to happen. Now, I didn't think it was going to happen the way that it did. Phil did. Philip, shout out Philip on Patreon. He called it. He said he was going to get an interception. He said it when we were hanging out. So shout out to Phil. He commented it, talked about it, tweeted it, and was 100% spot on. Let's see. Carlos, not talking crap on Ambry Thomas, but he was beat on that interception. It was underthrown. No, you go back and watch that film. 100% incorrect, my friend. He was 5 yards behind. Ambry Thomas was 5 yards on top of the route. Like, he was playing deeper than the deepest when the ball was let go. He tracked the ball. Odell kept running and didn't look back and see the ball. Odell didn't play the ball well. Ambry Thomas was on top of that route and broke as soon as it thrown and read it perfectly. Ambry was right where he was supposed to be. But again, if you snapshot the broadcast coverage, that's what it looks like. You go back, you watch the All-22, Ambry was right on top of that route, textbook, exactly what it was supposed to be. And he broke on it and made a play on the ball. So I love it, and I think, again, I see Christopher throwing this out there right now. Eric Crocker broke it down as well. And yeah, he wasn't beat at all. The cover 3, he's on top of it, and he's reading the quarterback. When the ball left Matt Stafford's hands, he broke on it and went and made the play. That's why Odell was nowhere around. Odell was running this way. He didn't locate the ball. Ambry Thomas was looking at the quarterback the whole time because he was so far on top of the route. It was really, really good coverage. And it wasn't just him. There were so many good people that kind of came out on coverage. Manuel Mosley, we're kind of taking for granted. Dude comes back in his very first start from injury, and just plays incredible. Now, I mean, definitely had some issues. I mean, it wasn't like a lights out game by any stretch, but dude was balling out and got that interception on that deep ball. And I think those are the types of things that we need to build on, because you've got so much going. Everybody has complained about corners this year. Why doesn't the team get corners? Why doesn't the team get corners? Why doesn't the team get corners? Well, our corners balled out. This game they did. Now, did Ambry still get beat for a touchdown? He did. Was he in perfect position? He was. Was it a perfect pass? It was. Yeah, I'm not holding that against him. And so, I'm just, it's what it is. It's what it is. Jeremy, bets on if we run the ball 40 times for the win this weekend. 49ers run the ball 40 times, they win this game. There's no doubt about it. I don't think they're going to run the ball 40 times. I think we're going to run the ball. We got 31 last week against the Rams. I think probably my magic number is probably going to be around 27-28. But this is going to be a longer game because Cowboys throw it better than anybody. That's kind of what they do. So, yeah, Jeremy, if we run the ball 40 times, I'm 100% okay with that. That means we won the game. Now, let's update. Let's go to the head coach. Let's talk Kyle Shanahan. He updated the new injury report. So we've got a couple clips here that I want to talk about in specific, but I'll let him tee it off.
Trent Williams, elbow, won't practice. Marcel Harris, Achilles, limited. George will not practice, not injury related. And Trent Cannon's, we're opening up in his practice window today.
That's great news. That horrible injury to Trenton Cannon and the fact that he's able to practice and opening that up, that's huge. And shout out to Juan Solis. This dude, man, I love Juan. Juan's like the best. He's coming out to Dallas. He's going to be there with us partying. And the things that he has done for this podcast and doing for himself, I'm excited, man. This dude is enrolling. I'm sorry I put his business out there, but I'm freaking so proud of this cat. He's enrolling in advanced film work and all kinds of like multimedia and stuff, trying to hone his skills to make things better here. And man, I want to do everything I can to support that guy, positivity, and just freaking sending it his way. He's in his car cutting clips of the press conference so that we could have those. Dude's the best, man. He's the absolute best. And so just want to say thank you to him and support that dude in whatever he does. And if you're in Dallas, man, buy that dude a drink, give him a hug, whatever. I pay him as best I can, but we're not to the point yet where I could give him what he deserves. I'm hoping to get there soon. But shout out to him for getting all this stuff done. Now, two of the biggest injuries. One, Elijah Mitchell didn't practice. What's that about? Well, and Trent Williams, that's the big one. Kyle Shanahan went in a little bit more. One of them's a little bit of a concern. The other one, not so much.
Yeah, Elijah's in the same boat he was in last week on this Wednesday, and Trent is better today than he was on Sunday. But still, I'm hoping he'll be ready for the Sunday.
Hoping he'll be ready for Sunday. That means he's not ready, currently for Sunday, but hopefully he will be. Now, a lot of other people, I think that they are doing much, much better. Because, you kind of look at just the injury report. One, Trey Sermon's been activated. We talked about that yesterday. Azeez is looking good. K'Wan Williams is looking good. So you're getting back a whole bunch of guys that you didn't have last week against the Rams. That's going to help significantly. I really, really do think that's a huge positive. But Trent Williams is the best player on this team. That's all there is to it. Is he the most valuable? That's another question. But his replacement gave up 2 sacks. Last week, guess what? You got Micah Parsons, you got Tank Lawrence, you got Gregory. You're going up against a much better defensive edge group. Now, obviously, they don't have Aaron Donald on the inside, but Brunskill took care of that. Like, you've got to take care of some business on the outside. We need Trent Williams this week. It's very, very important to have him. He didn't practice today. I would like him to be limited tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know if they're just resting him and basically saying, dude, you're fine. Like, if you can go, no practices, we're putting you out there. He's that significantly better. But again, he tried to go Saturday and Sunday last week. So we can hope. I'm crossing my fingers there. That's a big one. Now, one player that we did get back was Dre Greenlaw. And it's weird. I don't know. I don't understand. There's been some Dre Greenlaw hatred out there on Twitter. What the hell is everybody else watching? Now, listen to Kyle talk about this because I'm a Dre Greenlaw guy. Like, I'll admit it. Like, I love this man on and off the field. I love who he is, his story, what he represents. I'm an adoptive dad. He's an adopted kid. Like, the stories are there. My kids like him. Like, there's so much there. Like, I'm invested, right? But when that kid shows up on the field, holy cow, man. Listen to who Kyle Shanahan related him to, and I don't disagree.
Again, I thought him playing out there was like watching Mike Tyson with a uniform. First of all, I think he looks like him, his face a little bit, but he was so in the zone. honestly, if I was a fan, I probably would have been wearing his jersey in the stands that day because he plays a way that I love to watch, and we gotta be careful with that. You know, he did get he got a couple personal fouls and stuff, and it's a very fine line. But when you can play with that aggressiveness, that energy, I mean, guy hasn't played all year, and you can see how much he liked playing football. We didn't know how much he was going to be able to go, and he went pretty much every play. And just to see it, and you can see it in his eyes, and the way he looks in his eyes is the way his actions are in the field. And he is very inspiring to us as coaches and players, and I feel like he inspires our fans too. So having Dre out there is a huge difference, and we really enjoyed it.
I'll say this. He was the number 3 overall rated player for Pro Football Focus, which whatever. But if you look at him in the run game, holy guacamole, man. Dude had an 88.9 grade in the run game. He was lights out, led the team in tackles, had 6 solo run stops. Nobody else on the team had more than 2, and nobody else had 2. Like, he was all over the place. And yeah, I hated, he was too amped up. There's no doubt about it. You saw him suplex a guy, that didn't get called. Got a face mask on the side in a pile. That was unnecessary. That got called. The helmet-to-helmet hit, yeah, that got called and needs to be whatever. So, yeah, you could tone those things back. And I'm seeing somebody say, like, yeah, I'm more of an Al Shire guy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's what's your flavor, right? But here's the thing about Dre Greenlaw that nobody can say. He's the best tackling linebacker in the NFL. He's not the second best. He's not the third best. He's not the second best tackler on this team. 0 missed tackles. The dude doesn't miss tackles. He doesn't. And Azeez, huge splash player. Not taking anything away from Azeez. Do you want the more consistent, or do you want the highs and lows? Because that's what it comes down to. Neither's a wrong answer. Everybody has their different flavor. Here's the best part. You don't have to choose between them. It's not an either or, because you have 3 linebackers that are playing. So guess what? Even if Azeez comes back, you're solid. I want all 3 of them out there. The 49ers had the best linebacking core in the NFL when they're all out there. And that's what's so important. And they're so damn good. They're so good. You just saw, I was worried Greenlaw wouldn't be what he was after the back-to-back injuries to the groin. Groin looked fine. Yeah, he was hungry. I'm with you, Chris. That dude was going. He was going. He was out there with bad intentions. Mike Tyson, dude. I love Mike Tyson as a kid. And then I learned about him, and then I was like, oh, man. But watching Mike Tyson as a kid, man, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, are you kidding me? I used to play that game all the time. Like, I see it. I see it. And the fact that Kyle said, man, if I was wearing a jersey, it'd be a Dre Greenlaw jersey. And that's huge for me. Because, like, who are the players that you see as, like, man, this guy makes a difference? That dude made a huge difference on Sunday. Huge difference. And to see people out there, like, you know, throwing shade and stuff like that, what the hell, man? I just don't understand that at all. Like, that's just ignorant, man. Chris, talks of Greenlaw being traded for someone after Azeez started to rise really pissed me off. But yeah, I don't know who's pushing that narrative. It's not an either or. Like, where is that coming from? Greenlaw's one of the cheapest players on this team. Why would you trade that? Now, Azeez, I think this is the last year of his deal. He's going to have to sign a deal, and I hope they bring him back. I really, really do. But he has played well enough to be a starting Mike linebacker for an NFL team. It's not going to be cheap. It's not now. He's not going to get anywhere near Fred money, but you're talking about somebody that's going to probably get like $5 or $6 million a year and deserves it. I want to see somebody get paid. That's important to me. That's generational wealth that could affect his family. And with what he's given the 49ers, you know, on all these, again, we got him for basically free. He was an undrafted free agent. We groomed him, kind of helped all those situations. Dude deserves to get paid because he hasn't been paid yet. He's been on vet minimum deals with no guarantees. Dude deserves to get paid. And because I love Greenlaw doesn't mean I don't like Azeez. Like, don't do that. Don't fall into those traps. With a quarterback position, you can only have one. So that's different. But with linebackers, we got 3. We got 3. And that's not a bad thing at all. At all. Like, I don't get me salty, man. Somebody gonna get taken off the Chapman Christmas card list. It's non-existent, but still, you want to be on the list. You're not gonna get a card, but like if you did get a card, it'd be nice. But you don't want to not be on the. You know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. I don't know if that made sense or not. But what does make sense? It makes a lot of money, man. We have crushed it this year. My bookie. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. The 49ers are in the playoffs. And here with my bookie, you can take home your biggest wins of the year and double your deposit bonus as always. It's easy. Sign up for my bookie and use the promo code 49ers, 49ERS, and they're going to double your first deposit. Boom. Instantly, and then you get a bet and win even more money if you get it correctly. Now it's the playoffs. 49ers are in. Currently 3.5-point underdogs to the Cowboys, so you're getting points if you want to jump in on that. And again, you can always bet on who's going to win the NFC Championship. You bet on Super Bowl matchups, who's going to win the Super Bowl, and much more with my bookie. So don't miss out. Double your first deposit up to $1,000 using promo code 49ERS. Head to my bookie, place your bets, and get ready for the unmatched intensity of playoff football. We're going to be in Dallas. We're going to be there live. It's going to be a blast. So bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. You know, we'll have our bets of the week probably Friday. That's when we'll get that together out here. But again, we've been crushing it, so I'll let you know. But the line has shifted. It was 49ers were 3.5-point underdogs. Now we're 3-point underdogs, so it's kind of shifting. And I don't think it's going to stay there. I can totally see that end up around 2. So if you're one of those people, I got in at 3.5. If you're wanting to just take the points, which I am, you giving me the points? The 49ers are getting points? You crazy to me? All right. Now, Michael, I like this question, and I think it's important. He says, John, are you worried about our team's inconsistency this year? Michael goes on to say, felt much more confident in 2019, but then again, we're definitely hitting a stride right now. Yeah, the 2019 team shot out of a cannon. I mean, what were we, 9-0 at one point? Like, that was different. We were front runners from the start. We didn't even play wild card week because we were the number 1 seed. We had a bye week, all those things. It's different. This team's not on that level. I really don't believe that it is. I don't think it's there because we weren't as good a team. We're not as good a team as we were then. However, we are a different team, and we have different things that we are better at. You know, I'm going to go to this right here, and I think this is kind of hits in sync. Kyle Shanahan was asked, in a really weird way, the question was confusing, but basically the question was about something along these lines. Your play calling has kind of evolved to where you used to pass it all the time or used to run it all the time to where you are now where you go back and forth. And Shanahan kind of goes off on a tangent here, but I think it's telling not only about Kyle Shanahan, but about this team in general, about what the strengths are and what the goals are.
It's off of the good and based off your life circumstances and experiences. And when you're a play caller, I think what you're trying to say is my first 2 years in Houston, we didn't run the ball at all. And we threw it all the time. You know, I think we were 31st in rushing my last year there and first in passing. And I think the year before, I think we were third in passing and I think 17th in rushing. So I had 2 years as a coordinator, and you know, the way our quarterback was, the way our receivers were, we were just built to throw. And so you knew how to do that. And then I went to Washington and you try to do the same stuff and you realize you got to do different stuff with different players, and you start to adjust and figure out what you need to do, and you learn the importance of everything, and getting forced to do certain things based off your personnel, I do think helps you grow as a coach. So then when you feel like you can do both, you don't just abandon one because you understand through your experiences why you have to be able to throw the ball, you have to be able to run the ball. We ran the ball really well versus the Rams, and I think that was only because we threw the ball well. In both of those games, if we didn't have 2 of our best third down games throwing the ball, you would not have seen those type of runs. So I think it all ties together, and I also think it helps you win games is what you learn the most, because the more you run the ball, the less chance you have usually of penalties, usually of sacks, and most importantly, interceptions.
And so I think it's important because like you whenever you look at what he's done, Shanahan hasn't been perfect. I love Shanahan. I'm so glad he's our coach. Doesn't mean I think he's been perfect. This was by far one of the best games of the year called by Shanahan, but not at the start. In back-to-back weeks, our team has done 0 offensively until the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, and then they caught fire. Shanahan didn't used to be that. It was the exact opposite. Shanahan was the best scripter of play calls to start a game in the NFL, and then he would fizzle out in the fourth quarter. Well, we're back-to-back games. The opposite has happened. We've been on the uptrend as the game continues to go. So it's, I don't know. It is interesting. You got to run the ball. We came out and started running the ball, and they were all negative yards. And then once you started throwing it, opened up the run game, right? Philip, thank you for the gift, man. He says, okay, what's your take on the head coach duel? Now, I'll say this, and, again, I'm going to be doing the whole Cowboys bit later on and all the research and stuff I've been doing. I have zero respect for Mike McCarthy as a coach. I don't think he's a good coach at all. However, coordinator-wise, they might be the best 2 coordinators in the NFL. Like, if you had to pick 2 coordinators, Dan Quinn's incredible. He's going to be a head coach next year. Kellen Moore's incredible. He's going to be a head coach next year. Mike McCarthy has nothing to do with the offense or defense. And he really doesn't have much to do. If you've watched Hard Knocks, he's not a leader of men. He's just somebody that Jerry could control. And so, if there is a duel, Kyle Shanahan in spades. I think Mike McCarthy is a bottom 5 head coach every single year he's in the league. I have zero respect for that man as a coach. I just do not see it. Now, I'm not trying to talk about let's see here. It's not so much an Aaron Rodgers thing. It's all the other information that came out of Green Bay besides Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to talk trash on everybody for the most part, but whatever. You take that with whatever you want to take Aaron Rodgers talk with. But no, Mike McCarthy, he's bad. He's really, really, really bad. So they will take that for kind of what you want. Now, here's what I think is important because I'm going to play 2 clips here, and I think they're related. I'm going to start with Warner, and then I'm going to end with Kittle here on this same topic because it's awesome. And, I would always try to tell my players that, football is like life. A game is like life. Things don't go your way. You can have a plan, but back to Mike Tyson, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Things go wrong. Fumbles, penalties, crowd noise, injuries. You have no control over a lot of those things. Who are you when things don't go your way? And momentum is a real thing. Because sometimes, guess what? Life sucks. Sometimes things go against you, and it just feels like nothing's going your way. And, are you going to be a victim, or are you going to change things, right? Listen to Fred Warner talk about the momentum and how it was real when it switched in that Rams game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the momentum was for sure swinging. Anytime I'm on the sideline, I never get too high or too low. Just kind of I know how football is, and I always just kind of try to keep the defense like this. Just keep them even keeled and let them know that it doesn't matter what's going on out there. Whatever the offense is doing, we got to go out there and we got to play our style and our brand of football on defense. And we knew we needed to take the ball away, and we got the one that we needed early in the game, and then obviously the one at the end to seal it.
Again, you listen to his press conference. He gets it, man. Not too high, not too low. You stay in that sweet spot, and you do your job, and things, they happen. Well, now listen to Kittle talk about Warner giving the halftime speech.
Fred broke us down. Fred's always very inspirational. You can feel his emotion in every word that he speaks, whether it's pregame, whether it's a halftime. You can always feel it. He just said, hey, we got 30 minutes, empty the tank. What else? There's no guarantees next week. We have to win this game, or otherwise we're going to be going home. So might as well empty the tank and have some fun with it. And that's what we did.
Yeah, people, do you remember when we were 3-5 and everybody was questioning what are our leaders? Who are the leaders? We don't have leaders, blah, 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 blah. We have leaders. We've had leaders. Warner's been the leader of the defense for a long time. Kittle's a leader. He was injured, and that caused some issues. But once you start winning, things calm down a lot. And the 49ers have been winning as much as anybody, besides the Dolphins, who fired their coach, which, weird tangent. That was stupid as hell. I don't know why they did that. Something must have happened behind scenes. I understand. Yeah, that's just crazy that Brian Flores got fired. Dude went 8-1. 8-1. Down the stretch, he got fired. Unreal. Makes no sense. But anyway, back to kind of why things were able to do what they wanted to do. And I think that this is huge. Back to Fred Warner now, talking about where the strength of the defense was and kind of where, and it showed on film 100% what he's saying here.
Pass and run game. I think they were having a heck of a game in the first half. We knew we had to stop the run. And we were doing that. It's just that we were in third and long situations, and we were giving up the third and longs. Like we had to tighten up on our side in the back end, and they just kept at it. They kept chipping away. And then once everything started to marry up, that's when you saw all the big plays happening up front. But I mean, those interior guys and everyone disrupting the backfield in the run game and making those big time third down stops. I mean, they were exactly who they've been all year.
D-line was unreal. Unreal. And nobody was better than Eric Armstead. Career day and the biggest moments, man. The biggest moments. Eric Armstead had 7 pressures, 2.5 sacks, tackles for loss. He was all over the place. Quarterback hits. He was all over the place. Dude was everywhere. Eric Armstead, and again, he talked after the game about how this was a dream game to play in. But man, I think it was one of his best games of his career.
No, that was definitely up there. It was an instant classic for sure. So that was a game you dream of being able to play in, especially how the game went, and fortunate enough to get the win and send us to the playoffs. So it's definitely a huge win, an amazing game to play in.
Man, I'm so happy for that guy. And, I see this question on here, and I think it's important to understand kind of who you are and where we are. Roland says, I wonder how many fans quit on the team after they were 3-5. There's fair weather fans of every fan base. And yeah, I get a lot of emails saying, I'm done. I've seen enough. I can't do this, blah, blah. Like, I get those a lot. And I understand a lot of those are sent, kind of spur of the moment and when they're upset and all those things. But like, we're faithful. And I'm pretty big on that term. And this team's pretty big on that term. Fair weather fans, just not my thing. Not my thing. Especially, as a high school teacher, like whoever wins, there's going to be Georgia Bulldog fans whenever I go back to school. Like, we're in Zoom now, but whenever we go back, there's going to be Georgia Bulldogs fans. And it's like, really? Are you sure? Be who you are. You support your team all the time. And look at all the other teams. 7 teams have fired their head coach this past week. 7 teams. We're not one of those teams. We've been in those situations. You remember the Tom Sula year? You remember the Chip Kelly year? Like, you remember those years where it's like, oh, man, all right, doing mock drafts in October? Oh, like, that's gross. Like, that's not right. That's not where you want to be. Now, I love draft season more than anybody that's ever existed, but it's not time yet. We have bigger things on the horizon still, but we do have to peek into the future a little bit. All right, guys, big news here. We have set up a texting service because we're throwing the biggest Chapman production party ever, and it's going to take place during the NFL draft. So we're throwing a party in Las Vegas. That's where the draft is. We're going to be there, and not only me, but we have not one, but 2 San Francisco 49ers players that are going to be there as well. Autographs, pictures, the whole shebang. And we're going to be broadcasting live during days 1 and 2 of the draft. So if you've joined us in the past during the draft, that's my baby. The amount of time that I put into that is very, very important to me. And so we're going to throw the best draft party that's ever been created for 49ers fans. And you're going to get to meet some of the players. One of them is the team captain, going to be around for a while. One of them is a prominent rookie, going to be around for a while. We've agreed to everything verbally with the agents and the players, just waiting to get the contract details ironed out, and all those things. So we're going to be releasing some early bird ticket pricing. And the only way that you can get is through this text service. Now, we're not going to spam you or anything like that. That's not what this is. This is to update people on the biggest party. I've told you guys, like, I'm teaching, this is my last year. Coaching, this is my last year. I'm banking this as my career. And this is going to be the set-off point. And this is going to be a whole no expense. We're putting it all in. All the chips are coming in. So I want you to be a part of this. So text DRAFT, D-R-A-F-T, to this number, 833-306-0365. Again, not a spam account, just for the NFL draft. And if the NFL draft's not your thing, this probably ain't for you anyway. But again, text draft to 833-306-0365 for some special deals. And again, I'm going to release the cheap early bird prices for this. So if you want to save some money, come party with the 49ers and me and lots of other 49ers people as this continues to grow. This is going to be a big event. So thank you guys for all the support. It's pretty cool seeing where all this is growing. I could not do it without your support. So I want to say thank you. Again, text DRAFT to 833-306-0365. I'm pumped. We can announce now Elijah Mitchell's going to be one of the players coming out. We have that contract finalized, signed, all parties involved. It's going to be awesome. Sin, I see you. She's going to be at the draft, which is going to be a blast. And again, listen to me. That draft number is important because we've got, we're finalizing a deal. We're looking at 3 places on the strip currently. One of them has 300 spots. One of them has 185. And we're trying to figure out what's going to be that sweet spot. And when we run out of spots, it's going to be a limited capacity event, obviously. It's in Vegas. I want to go into my listeners. And if you want to be one of those people, you got to take part in that text service because that's where it's all going to be released so that it can go to my people first. I'm greedy. My non-existent fictional Christmas card list, you guys are going to be on it. And yeah, I'm seeing it. Tommy, I'm not sure you're on it, Tommy. I'm joking, man. Melissa definitely is. She's incredible. But head that way, man, because yeah, playoffs right now. And if you're in Dallas, make sure you come out and party with us. We're going to be in Arlington, 49ers Rush road trip. But man, we're planning this stuff for the future too. And so it's here and now, already but not yet, for my philosophical people out there. And that's what it is. So, man, enjoy this week. Enjoy this week. And if you're one of those people that's just like, I can't get enough 49ers right now. I need more. Well, guess what? I was on Niners Nation podcast yesterday with Rob Stats Guerrero. It was awesome. We had a great time. So go check out Niners Nation YouTube channel if you want that one. We talked for like an hour. It was an incredible conversation, kind of year in review type stuff. And if you want to jump into the film, there's no better place than Patreon. Patreon.com, 49ers Rush Podcast. Check it out. You don't like it? 100% money back guaranteed. That's what we do. No questions asked. But until next time, we're going to be bringing more content to you this week. You guys are incredible. Thank you for all the support. And as always, stay strong, faithful.